This is our second video for the week number 6 weekend, and this video is in regards to our electrics case assessment case. Now, again, if any of you have not recognized this case or have read it over yet, please do so. It is due Sunday, May 28th. So in the next 2 weeks, you have to do this electrics case. In addition, next week, you have an additional case, case number 3, which is a PowerPoint financial statement analysis of the company that you selected in week number 1. That's next week, and it's due on Sunday, the 21st. So you basically have 2 cases going on right now. The electric case, though, is worth 25% of your course grade. 1/4 of your grade is based on this casework, APA formatted paper and spreadsheet analysis. And then case number 3, which is next week, is worth 20%. So 45% of your grade for this class will be determined in these 2 case assessments. So I can't stress enough you making time to prepare adequately for this work. Okay. This is a review or an introduction or a review point of this case, this video. I will also have a live Zoom review next Saturday, May 20th at 1 in the afternoon via Zoom. The link is in your Blackboard. If you cannot make that review, that's okay. I will be recording that review and post it to Blackboard. But the reason why you might want to come to that review is if you have specific questions about the work, you can ask me and I will answer them. I will have a presentation of about 30 minutes or 20 to 30 minutes about the case, most specifically about the paper side of the case. And then I will open it up for questions from students. If you cannot be there but do have some questions, send me an email with those questions and I will answer them in that review next Saturday at 1 o'clock via Zoom. Okay. So this electrics case is as I've mentioned before, it's an assessment case. In other words, it's a requirement of our business program to have accredited with various accreditation bodies to make sure that we are teaching MBA finance. This case is a reason for this work. It is a perfect example of MBA finance, where you're given a situation of a company needing to make a decision. What's the decision? To choose between 2 products. Why? The company is now would like to manufacture, providing a kit that changes automobiles from diesel or gasoline engines to electric engines, and it's this kit. So they've come up with this kit, and you're doing the analysis of which of the 2 kits is the best based on an analysis of their return on investment and based on your interpretation of what this electrics company is looking for. The key to the case is 2 areas. First of all, determining the analysis of capital budgeting. Now, we've practiced this in our class lectures. We've practiced this in case number 2. Now it gets a little bit more technical, a little bit more elaborate, but you have to put together 2 capital budget analysis. One for the kit that is determined by the controller CTX13. That's one, an analytical or spreadsheet analysis. And then 2, the second product, the kit with the controller number MT78. It's the controller that determines how the product works in switching your car to an electric motor. So part of the cost is the cost of the electric motor, the labor, the parts, the selling and administrative, then the cost of the controller. So you're combining all these things into an analysis where you, just like we did in case 2, distinguish what are the variable costs, distinguish what are the fixed costs, and then prepare a capital budget analysis. That's your job. The difference in this case, and this is one that you need to study in advance and come with questions if you don't understand it, is in addition to the variable costs of unit like labor and parts and the price of the controller and installation, you also have a variable cost called warranty. And that warranty is based on a 5-year warranty for every product produced, years 1 through 8. I think that's the length of this. God, can you believe it? Professor Hassey just forgot about the length. Let's see. The project life is 8 years. That's correct. So it's an 8-year life. So every 8 years, every year for 8 years, they're going to produce a controller, an electric kit that's going to have a warranty of 5 years. So your job now is to assign 5 years of cost on a warranty into 1 year, the year that that particular unit is being produced. So in every year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you will have another line of another variable cost line in addition to labor and parts and the controller installation. You'll have another variable cost line for the warranty. And the warranty is for the CTX13, it's $90 per unit, plus the warranty on the electric motor, $75. So that's $165 every year for 5 years. The warranty on the MT78 is $75 on the motor, plus $100 for the controller. That's $175 per unit every year for 5 years. Now, how do you get 5 years of costs into one number, the year that the product was being built? Well, as the problem says, you determine the present value of this cost to be used as the cost figure for each electric motor. In other words, you're taking 5 years of warranty costs and combining them into one number, and you're costing that out in the year that that specific unit is built and sold. So 5 years of cost. So that warranty number is going to include those 5 years of costs discounted to one number. Now, should you include inflation in that? I would. What's going to be your discount rate? You have to determine that as well. It's pretty easy, but you have to determine it. So that's the difference between this and case number 2. In case number 2, you had one company, one number. Here you have one company, 2 products, and an additional type of cost called warranty that you have to include. Also, the depreciation is not given in this case. You have to determine the depreciation. Remember, it's a $17 million 8-year project. All right. You're going to be using the Marginal Accelerated Cost Recovery System depreciation, MACRS, to determine the depreciation for each year of the 8 years. Your job is to look it up. If you have a textbook, it's in there. Look up, going to the IRS tax tables, MACRS depreciation is in there. Find a depreciation schedule for an 8-year asset using MACRS. You take that percentage times the 17 million investment, and that's your inflation, that's your depreciation rate for every year. So the depreciation is not given in this problem like it's been in case 2. You have to calculate it, not with straight line depreciation, but with this method, MACRS, which is a very, very popular depreciation method used by corporations. So with all that being said, your job in the next 2 weeks is to put all these numbers into spreadsheets, do a risk analysis, and answer these 8 questions, and this is your paper. Your paper is to address these 8 questions. Put it in an APA format paper. In other words, I don't want to see a memorandum. I want to see a research paper answering these 8 questions. You answer those 8 questions and use your appendix or your backup as your spreadsheet files. There's your paper. All right. So that's what you have to do. This week, and next Saturday, I will review this paper, what I expect the paper to look like, what I expect it to be, how you should think about it. This first week, though, you should concentrate on putting the spreadsheets together in addition to doing your case number 3 work, which is going to be a large task. So again, if you have the ability to put together your worksheets, your drafts of your spreadsheets, and send them to me for review. And I will review them and point you in the right direction. I will not again review your paper, its format, or your presentation. I'll just review your spreadsheet worksheet for this file. Okay. Now in the spreadsheet, you're doing exactly what we've done in case 2. You're determining the cost of capital by using the information given to you in Exhibit 4. Then you're going to be putting into a capital budget format with these numbers. So I have prepared a checklist of the information you need to gather so you can put it into your capital budget spreadsheet formats that you've already worked on in case 2 and we've worked on in our course lectures in week 4 and 5. So let's take a look at that checklist. So here's that checklist in the Assessment Business 630 Assessment Case Electrics Incorporated file folder. As you can see, these are a list of items in order that you should find out and calculate and put together and then incorporate it into your spreadsheet. Now, the spreadsheet naturally is not given to you. You have to create it. Now, naturally, you can use the templates from our classwork in week 4 and 5. You can use the template from case number 2, which might be appropriate because that was a 7-year capital budget analysis. This is an 8-year. So you can go ahead and use that, but you're going to have to create 9 tabs in this spreadsheet. A tab for cost of capital, a tab for your warranty cost calculation, a tab for your depreciation schedule, a tab for your average base case analysis for the product CTX13, a scenario and sensitivity analysis for CTX13, an average base analysis for the product MT78, and a scenario and sensitivity analysis for that. You have all the templates that you did in case number 2, but you now have to incorporate them into the 2 specific products that you're doing here. And that's where it's going to get a little bit technical, especially where it comes to the sensitivity analysis. You have to read your questions carefully in your case because the sensitivity analysis gives you the 2 variables you're going to need. It's not the same variables that you used in case number 2. So you have to pay attention to that. So your job, unless you've already done so, is to begin to get these points from your case analysis. What is the capital structure of this company? What is the after-tax cost of debt? What is the cost of equity using the capital asset pricing model? This information is all indicated in Exhibit 4. The project life, and I'm going to fill some of this in to save you some time and hopefully it's not too difficult to figure this out. Oh, excuse me, here we go. The project life is 8 years. Depreciation schedule that I have already told you is the marginal accelerated cost recovery system. Now, what is that again? The marginal accelerated cost recovery system is a form of depreciation schedule. If you have a textbook, it's located in your textbook. If you don't have a textbook, you can go to the IRS, or technically you just go to Google and type in MACRS depreciation, and then you find the 8-year class asset, and there are your percentages to do the investment. Remember, the 8-year project life is based on an investment of $17 million. Be nice if I type well today, sorry. The salvage value, there is no salvage value in this case. So you're got a break there, no salvage value in this case. The average base analysis, okay? This is just like your base analysis that you did in case number 2, where you have to determine you're going to sell 40,500 units at a selling price per unit, that's your revenue, of $9,200. That's your base case analysis that drives your numbers. That also drives the numbers of your sensitivity analysis, your scenario analysis, and so on, just like case number 2. All right. The warranty cost, that's for you to figure out. So I'm going to leave that blank. The warranty, you have to determine the warranty on, well, I'm not going to leave it blank, but I'm going to tell you, you have to calculate it. First of all, the CTX 13 controller is going to have a warranty of $90 a year for 5 years. Plus, and again, all this information is in Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 of your exhibits for the case. So you're going to have a $90 warranty on the CTX 13 plus a warranty of $75 per year on the engine motor. So that's $165. For the MT78 controller model, you're going to have a warranty of $100 a year for 5 years, plus the $75 a year on the engine motor. So a total of $175 for each year for 5 years, and you discount that to one number. There's your variable for every year for warranty. All right. The fixed cost is given in this problem. The fixed cost is given as the selling general and administrative expenses of $9,500,000 a year. Variable cost, I won't give you the numbers, but the variable costs are made up of 3 items. Just add the total up. The labor cost per motor plus the parts per motor plus the controller and installation of the controller, or the CTX 13 or the MT78. They're both a little bit different. That's your variable cost. The inflation rate is company-wide for all the variables that you need to inflate at 3%. So there's no 2%, 1%, and 0.5%. It's all 3% inflation rate. The tax rate for this company, again, it's located in Exhibit 4, but I'll tell you the tax rate is 30%. Working capital rate, we've done this, remember, in case number 2. We know what working capital is. The working capital rate in this problem is 10% of next year's sales. So and then we're using all that information, you determine the net yearly cash flow. Then you do your return analysis. I want net present value, internal rate of return, profitability index, and payback, just like you did in case number 2. And just like in case number 2, I ask you to do a risk analysis, a scenario analysis. Notice in Exhibit 1, and I'll just type that here so you see it. Exhibit 1 has the scenarios. Has the sales for week average, and that's your base case, and strong. But notice a little bit different than case number 2. Yes, the output or units has changed, but also the selling price changes based on those scenarios. So when you do the scenario analysis for weak and strong, the selling price per unit changes. So you have to be aware of that. All right. Then the sensitivity analysis, which is given in the questions of the case, the sensitivity analysis has the percentages of plus or minus 10, 20, and 30%. And I'm not going to tell you what the variables are for the sensitivity. You need to figure those out on your own. Okay, those are the specifics. And now you have to gather that data, put it into a format of the analysis that you've already done in case number 2, and have a tab. Don't have it all in one file where I got to run through all the numbers going up and down the spreadsheet. So I want a tab to show me your WAC calculation. I want a tab to show me your warranty costs calculations for the 2 units. I want you to show me the depreciation schedule of the $17 million over the 8 years. I want you to do the base or average analysis, scenario and sensitivity for the product CTX13 in different tabs. I want you to do the average analysis for MT78 and the scenario and sensitivity analysis in 3 tabs. So when I look at your spreadsheet, which you will post to Blackboard along with your paper, I expect to see 9 tabs. If I don't see 9 tabs, points will be taken off. That's the analysis. And this is exactly like it's done in the real world. Having a tab and an explanation of every key strategical management statistic or number, and being able to look at that and then incorporate it in your paper by answering those 9 questions that's in the paper on page 3 and 4. So that's your work to do in this next week if you've not already started it. Your job is to put together, maybe do one analysis for CTX13. Just do that one and then put it together, send it to me. I will review it, let you know that everything is cool or where there be some problems. And there's always problems either with A, the depreciation schedule, or B, your warranty cost calculation. But try it. I will let you know what direction or how you're doing. Then if that's approved, then you can put together, copy that file to another file and do another tab and do the MT78 calculations. That's how you go about this. And when you're done with all those calculations and they're signed off, then you write the paper. And that'll be the subject of our review session next Saturday afternoon, the paper writing. This should give you a good start on putting together the spreadsheets. Again, you have to do your own calculations, your own arithmetic, but you've already done that in case number 2 and have that available to you to copy and paste over. What I would do is just copy your case number 2 work and make sure you got everything correct. And if you did get something wrong in that case 2, fix it based on the feedback you get from me. Copy that and then recreate the electric CTX13 analysis into that spreadsheet. You got your scenario, you got your sensitivity, and naturally you have to put those in a separate tab, but you got all the basics there. Just adapt it to these variables that you see here on the screen, and you're off and running. Welcome to a MBA Advanced Finance Study. Excellent. Okay, so I'll be here to help you throughout this. You have a good start now with this information and with the information available to you. Begin your work and then try to get it out of the way this week in addition to your work with case 3. And then you have a week left to put your paper together and clean everything up. A couple words to the wise. Remember, there are no extensions for the case assessment electrics case paper and spreadsheet. It's due on the May 28th. It has to be posted by midnight on May 28th. No extensions for that because I'm going to post your grades the next few days after that. Case number 3, which is due next Sunday, you do have time for an extension on that, but I don't want you to have too many extensions because you're supposed to be working on your electrics case during that final week. So if you do need an extension on case 3, that's the subject of my video tomorrow, to introduce that case and what I'll be looking for in that work in the coming week, week number 7. So a lot on our plate. Now's the time if you have not done so, and I know who those people are because I watch when you hit Blackboard and who visits Blackboard and who does not. I know you're all busy, but these last couple of weeks of this course, you have plenty of work to do. I'm open. We have Tuesday and Thursday student hours from 6 to 8. If you need a special time allocated, you can let me know. You can send questions to me via email. You can send questions to me via the student discussion forum. And you have that review session next Saturday afternoon. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday, tomorrow, with our introduction and description of our PowerPoint case number 3. Until then, adios.